In 2018, a high-stakes economic battle began. A war not fought with armies, but with taxes, trade deals, and retaliatory strikes. At the center of it all, former President Donald Trump declaring an economic war on global competitors, particularly China. Trump's weapon of choice? Tariffs. Taxes on imports designed to protect American industries, punish foreign nations, and shift the balance of power in global trade. But as history has shown, in any war, there are casualties. The origins. America first and the trade war begins. Donald Trump's political rise was fueled by a promise: put America first. He blamed China, Mexico, and the European Union for what he called unfair trade practices, accusing them of stealing American jobs and wealth. Trump at a rally, 2016. We are being ripped off. China is eating our lunch. We used to make the best products in the world. Now, everything says, made in China. We're gonna change that. Once in office, Trump wasted no time. In March 2018, he announced sweeping tariffs, 25% on steel, 10% on aluminum. His argument? Protecting American metal industries from foreign competitors, flooding the market with cheap materials. Trump in 2018. We need strong steel. We need strong aluminum. We don't need to buy it from other countries when we can make it here. But that was just the beginning. Soon after, he set his sights on China, imposing tariffs on $250 billion worth of Chinese imports. Electronics, machinery, textiles, and countless other goods Americans use daily, now subject to heavy taxation. The message was clear: the U.S. was going to play hardball. But Trump was playing a dangerous game, one where every move had a counter move. The retaliation. China strikes back. China wasn't going to sit back and take the hit. Chinese President Xi Jinping, 2018, translate: the Chinese people will not be threatened. We will protect our economy and our industries. Within weeks, China hit back, imposing tariffs on American soybeans, pork, and automobiles. The impact was immediate. Farmers across the Midwest, who had long relied on China as their biggest customer, suddenly found themselves drowning in surplus crops. Prices plummeted. The future looked uncertain. American farmer, 2019. For decades, China was our biggest buyer. Now, the markets dried up. These tariffs, they're killing us. But China didn't stop there. They restricted exports of rare earth minerals, essential components in electronics, military equipment, and high-tech industries. Wall Street took notice. Investors panicked. Stocks tumbled. The American economy, collateral damage. Trump promised tariffs would bring back American jobs. But instead, many companies found themselves caught in a costly trap. Manufacturers that relied on imported materials, especially auto companies, appliance makers, and construction firms, saw their costs skyrocket. U.S. auto manufacturer, 2019. Steel prices are up 40%. We can't keep up. Either we raise prices or cut jobs. Harley-Davidson, a company Trump once praised, announced it was moving production overseas to avoid tariffs. Other companies followed suit. Meanwhile, American consumers started feeling the pinch. Electronics, appliances, and even basic goods became more expensive as businesses passed on the extra costs. In an ironic twist, instead of foreign businesses suffering, it was American families paying more at the checkout counter. Wall Street's roller coaster ride. With uncertainty looming, the stock market became a battlefield of its own. Financial analyst, CNBC, 2019. Markets hate uncertainty. One tweet from Trump and stocks swing hundreds of points. The Dow Jones plummeted multiple times as fears of an all-out trade war gripped investors. Global supply chains, once efficient and cost-effective, became tangled in chaos. American tech giants like Apple warned that tariffs on Chinese components could raise iPhone prices by hundreds of dollars. The trade deficit paradox. Trump's ultimate goal was to reduce America's trade deficit, buy less from China, sell more American products abroad. But by 2019, the U.S. trade deficit had actually grown. Instead of bringing back jobs, companies were looking for new ways to avoid tariffs, often by shifting production to countries like Vietnam, India, and Mexico. Even China found loopholes. Goods were rerouted through other countries, avoiding direct tariffs while still reaching American markets. Economist, 2020. Trump wanted to punish China. Instead, businesses just found new ways to work around the tariffs. The trade deficit. It didn't shrink, it got bigger. The political fallout. Election 2020. By 2020, the economy was slowing and the trade war had become a key issue in the presidential election. Democrats argued that the tariffs had hurt more Americans than they helped. Farmers, once loyal Trump supporters, began to voice concerns. Midwest voter, 2020. I voted for Trump because he said he'd help farmers. Now, My farm's barely hanging on. Even Republicans started questioning the strategy. But Trump doubled down. Trump rally 2020. We're winning the trade war. China's paying billions. They want Biden because I'm tough on them. But experts pointed out China wasn't paying the tariffs. American companies and consumers were. Then came the COVID-19 pandemic, throwing the global economy into turmoil. The trade war, once a top priority, suddenly took a back seat to survival. Who really won? By the end of Trump's presidency, tariffs remained in place, but the promised benefits never fully materialized. American manufacturing did not see a major resurgence. Farmers required billions in government aid to survive, and inflation on goods rose as businesses passed higher costs to consumers. Meanwhile, China didn't back down. Instead of caving, they invested in their own supply chains, making their economy less dependent on the US. Trump's tariffs were meant to shift the balance of power, but in the game of global trade, there are no easy victories. So the question remains, who really won? Economist 2021. The US economy absorbed most of the damage. China adapted. The trade deficit didn't shrink. If anything, America paid the higher price. In the end, tariffs became less about trade and more about politics. And in politics, perception often matters more than reality.